Okay, ma. Assembler directives. The topic that we are going to discuss today is assembler directives. So, what exactly these assembler directives? Before I explain what are assembler directives, I would like to recollect the things programming model that we have discussed twice while we are discussing the lab. We are done with that, and as a part of syllabus, as in programming model also we have discussed about the assembler. So what exactly an assembler is? Assembler is nothing but it's a sub program, or we can call it as a program which will convert assembly language into the machine language. That is nothing but machine language is nothing but binary language. So the sub program which can convert um, assembly language into the binary language is called as an assembler. So the assembler that we are using in our laboratory is MASM. So if it is an assembler, then what could be the assembler directive? See, while the assembler is converting assembly language into the binary language, in that process the processor needs some directions. It needs some directions in what way? Say for example, you have written a number 2, you have written a number 2 and you have written a number 3, and you want to perform addition between number 2 and number 3. So the result will be going to be 5. So while it is converting this number 2, number 3 and the result number 5, it might get confusion that what exactly the memory space that number 2 requires, or that number 3 requires, or that number 5 requires. So there it may stop converting those numbers. The reason is that here that assembler requires what is the memory space that needs to be allotted for those numbers. It's not only about the numbers, whatever the thing that you are typing in your program, including commas, semicolon, let you type anything, a single digit, each and everything should be clearly given directions to the assembler, so that assembler will allot some specified memory space to those particular things that you have written in your program. So from here, we can easily say that assembler directives will direct the assembler while it is converting an assembly language into the machine language. I'm repeating, assembler directives will direct the assembler while it is converting assembly language into the machine language. They direct, assembler directives will direct the assembler in such a way that they clearly tell about the memory space, what exactly the memory space that has been required for that particular number to store in a memory. So this is what all about the assembler directives. Their role is to give directions to the assembler when it is converting an assembly language into the machine language. So here you can see some of the examples of assembler directives. We have plenty of assembler directives where 8086 microprocessor can support. As we can't discuss all those assembler directives because of the time limits, we will be discussing the directives which we will be using more widely while we are writing the program. So here I have written few of the directives which will be more widely using, especially in the laboratory. See here you can see DB. See here DB is an assembler directive. So what exactly this DB means? DB means define byte. DB means define byte. So whenever the assembler look at this particular word DB, whenever it see this DB, then it come to know that okay, whatever the written, the number that they are writing for DB, that number needs a space of byte. So what it will do, it will allot a space. It gives that information to the processor. Assembler will give that information to the processor that there is one number that is going to be converted into a binary number, and that particular binary number requires a space of byte. Or simply you can call it as 8 bits. So in a similar way, if assembler directive find, if assembler finds DW, if assembler finds DW, what it indicates? That assembler will tell the processor that there is a number, or there is some character, or there is some information which requires a space of a word, which requires a space of a word. Word means 2 bytes. 2 bytes means if you want to convert word into bits, it will be requiring 16 bits. So byte means 8 bit, word means 16 bits, or you can simply call it as 2 bytes. And next, DD. What is DD? Define double word. DD means define double word, where this DD it will be allocating whenever an assembler looks at this DD, assembler directive DD, it informs to the processor that there is coming an information. When it is being converted into an assembly language, it requires a space of 4 bytes, and this DD can also be written as DQ also. Instead of writing DD, you can even also write DQ. See here, you can write DQ, where DQ stands for define quad word. Define quad word. Try to find out the difference between DD and DQ, where DD stands double word, means 4 bytes. DQ stands quad word. Quad, what is the meaning of quad? Quad will be 4 word, so 4 words means 8 bytes. Each word will be consisting of 2 bytes, so in that way 4 words will be 4 into 2, it is going to be 8 bytes. So whenever you are passing an information with this particular assembler directive, that information will be saved in a space of 8 bytes. So in this way, this assembler directives will help the processor in allotting the memory space when assembler is converting an assembly language into the machine language. So these particular directives, they'll be providing an information about the memory space, sorry, information about the location, how much is the location that it needs to be saved. And similarly, there will be an assembler called as end. So what does that indicates? Whenever an assembler look at that particular mnemonic END, it will tell to the processor that the program has come to an end. END means end of program. END means end of program. In a similar way, there will be ENDP. There will be ENDP, whereas ENDP indicates that end of procedure. Don't get confused with these two directives. There are two directives which will be, one directive will be indicating closing of program, and another directive will be indicating closing of procedure. What is this procedure? I'll explain in this particular class itself. As of now, you just remember that end means end of program, end B means end of procedure. And similarly, the next thing that we mostly use is end S. End S, where end S indicates that end of segment. End S indicates end of segment. And similarly, the next thing is EQU. EQU means equate. EQU means equate. And in a similar way, like this, we'll be having so many assembler directives which will be directing the assembler while it is converting an assembly language into the binary language. Such kind of assembler, PTR means pointer. PTR means pointer. While I'm explaining the lab session, while I'm explaining one particular program, there in that particular program I have written a word called assume. Whereas assume CS is equals to code. What that particular statement gives the information to the processor, whenever you are using an assume, you will be, that processor will be understanding that okay, everything the code related to that particular program, everything will be stored in a segment called code segment. After writing the word assume, will be writing CS represents code, DS represents data, like that will be assuming some assumptions. So once if that particular instruction is being executed, processor comes to know that code will be stored in code segment, and information, that is nothing but the data on which we are performing our operation, that data will be stored in data segment, and any other information or the intermediate result of the program, everything can be stored in extra segment. So in that way, before we start programming, we need to give some directions to the processor through assembler directives. So these are all the assembler directives that we have. So with this, I just come to know that you have some clarity over what are assembler directives.